Alright, so I'm coming out and I'm still working on the 88 a little bit today. I know I shot a video earlier today, but came back out and decided to do a little bit of work with the shifter bracket. Not mention that I was going to build the bracket for it, so I have this little L bracket I just finished cutting down a little bit, and I don't know who thought it was a good idea to not put any type of brace on the shifter. So took that L bracket, cut it in two pieces, and pretty much a direct height on what I need. So yeah, that's pretty good there. And like I said, it's kind of at an angle, so it'll be pretty much like that. I'll have to drill a couple holes in there, and I'm thinking I'm gonna take the cutoff wheel and trim down those edges. So I'll probably mark it with the mark with the Sharpie, and then cut down those edges and make it a nice clean fit. Not too worried about that little bit sticking out there, but depending on how I do it, I may or may not make that flush with it, but I'll definitely cut off those two tabs on that side and have a bracket, so hopefully it stiffens up the shifter a little bit. And I think I might be able to take these out and give me clearance to put some rib nuts in there. So have to double check to see if I have a couple of those. So I'll pull the welder out here in a little bit, and then pretty soon my buddy Adam Dory, his podcast That's Cool Drinks, about to come on, so have that playing in the background. But yeah, let me clean those up a little bit, grab the Sharpie, make the marks I need to make to clean off those edges, mark the holes so I could drill them. And I'll probably wait to drill the holes, or I'll wait to weld it until the holes are drilled for the mounting locations. Let's see. So, yep, I still have it. So that's there. Just have to see what. I should have a bunch of the rib nuts left over, but it's not looking like it. So it might be up over there. I'll double check. But I think it's gonna be difficult either way. Rib nut would definitely be the easiest, but then I might have to get a really short bolt to tighten it down in there on both sides. And then if I put a rib nut, no, I'd have to do nut and bolt on the top just for clearance, because if I put a rib nut there, it's still gonna, I don't know. I'd have to double check, but I'm gonna check to see if I have any rib nuts that fit with some of the spare bolts. But I'll have to figure out where they are. I know I have some left over. They come in handy. Like I said, I did rib nuts all along the top for the nose. And I did some of the rib nuts for the mount on here. Rib nuts on the battery disconnect and everything. So I'm starting to like the rib nuts. They come in handy, so definitely on the floor I'll put them there. So that way I don't have to worry about climbing up underneath, trying to get my hand in between the transmission and the transmission tunnel to get a nut and a bolt in there. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna go the rib nut route. But yeah, let me get the L brackets cleaned up, marked, and get the holes drilled out, and I'll catch you guys back on here in a little bit.
So you've got the quickest motorcycle.
All right, so did find the rib nuts I needed. The M5s fit perfect, but on my rib nut tool, I don't have the adapter for the M5, so I'm gonna have to open these up a little bit and throw the M6 rib nuts in there. So probably loosen up the shifter, just rotate it out of the way a little bit, and find the right size drill. Just open up those holes just a tad bit, and then put the rib nuts in there. So I try to have it all for the M6. That way, if you did have to take them out, it's all the same bolts. So started drilling those holes out a little bit. Have to open those up a little bit more. I kept breaking drill bits, so I'm about to find the right size for the M6 openings and drill those out. But I think they were the last two of the M6. This little cheap kit off Amazon. So whole bunch of M3s, M4s, M5s. Only 2 M6s left. And I think those are 8, 10, and 12s up top, which are way too big. But I think I have some M6 bolts laying around also, so that should help out. But in the meantime, I said just gonna keep opening those up, and then I'll come over to the shifter, open up the holes in the transmission tunnel, get the rib nuts in there, and then once everything's lined up, I'll go ahead and tack the L brackets together, and we'll have our bracket for the shifter already knocked out. And then, speaking of the shifter, yep, let's see who this is. Alright, so that's a spam call. But yeah, speaking of shifter, I was just getting the center console out of the way from the 88, threw it in the 85 to see how it looked. And I think I'm going to have to do the center console route in this thing. Looks pretty good. So yeah, I'll have to modify it a little bit just because of the shifter style. It goes back a little too far, so it hit this. So it might have to slide it back a little bit to clear everything. But I'm definitely thinking the center console is the way to go in this. But that's enough of that. Let me get back to making the bracket for the 88, because that's not fun trying to shift that. So the transmission tunnel is pretty thin metal as it is, so you kind of see that bracket playing a little bit. So once we get everything secured on there, definitely stiffen it up and keep anything else from breaking.
Get better pads for a newer brake.
Okay.
Alright, so
and there's some Brembo calipers for the front.
I'm about to call it a night. Still gonna keep watching That's Cool Drink. If you guys are interested in anything race week, tune into my buddy's podcast, Adam Dory, That's Cool Drink. But I've snapped about 5 different drill bits now, so I'm about to call it a day. I think I'm out of drill bits, at least for the right size. So in the morning, I'll probably run out, grab some drill bits, might grab some more M6 rib nuts. I think I'm gonna grab some shorter M6 bolts. So I think I'm just gonna run the rib nuts in the transmission tunnel, and then as far as the mount goes, just run nuts and bolts in there. But I want to get some shorter M6 bolts. So yeah, probably do that in the morning and then get everything welded up, because I don't want to weld it up until the holes are drilled. That way I'm not having to try to drill like that and have it spinning around. If it catches or anything with its flat, I could bolt it down and drill the holes that way, so it's a little bit more secure. But yeah, I'm gonna have to call it a day with that. And then while I'm out, I'll probably grab some more cardboard and poster board and trace the template out for the center console in there, and then button up all that in the morning. So that's all I got for you guys. Definitely thicker metal is easier for me, probably for everybody, but I see your comments. I told you I'm not the best welder, but a little bit more practice, I'll get there. Those actually don't look too bad. Let that cool down a little bit, and then I'll throw it in the car. Alright, while that's cooling down, I'm going to just come over here, loosen up the shifter, rotate it out of the way, and just open those holes up enough to get the rib nut in there. Put everything back, put the mount back, and should be good to go from there. Alright, so I think I'm all done with the welding for now. There's one more piece I need to weld, and that'll be a stud for the seat mount. Just put a little plate there. I know it's not the prettiest. I'm not a pro at the welding stuff, but I'm still working on it. The bracket for the shifter, it's a lot sturdier. It's not the best, but it'll do. It's not feeling like it's gonna rip out the transmission tunnel. But other than that, I think that's it for the 88 today. Just want to get that bracket made and then clean up all the little gaps I had in the floor. So that's all situated. I mentioned at the beginning, well, I think I deleted one of the videos when I first started welding it in, but mentioned that I was going to go over it with seam sealer. I know my welds aren't the best, so I was already planning on putting seam sealer on it. You're not going to see it. It's going to be covered up by the carpet and sound deadening anyway, so it's no big deal. But yeah, I think I'm running low on the gas though, so just use a little bottle. Wasn't planning on doing that much welding, but I think I need to refill that one. I should have enough to add the stud here. Just need to find a bolt, grind it down a little bit and put it into place. I'll probably put the seat in there, mark it where it needs to go, and then tack it into place. But other than that, that's it for the 88 today. Nothing too major. Like I said, next couple days, probably Friday, I'm waiting home from work. I'll probably stop by Home Depot, grab the rest of the material for that, and knock that out of the way. And then while I'm out here today, I'll probably trace the center console just to get the dimensions of it. I'll probably modify it a little bit, but we'll make it happen. Plans for the Elko. Probably not gonna mess with that today. Just gonna chill for the rest of the day. But yeah, now that I know the floor's knocked out, when I get the stuff for the trunk, I'll probably get the enamel to coat the floor. I'll hit that, all that with the flap disc and clean all that up, paint it, and then after it's painted, then the seam sealer will probably go on. And once that's on, I think Robbie should swing back by with more sound deadening. This will be enough to do a little bit, but I don't think it'll be enough to do the whole thing. So we'll see how much how far that goes. I might come back and do the sides of the trunk for him, so we'll see about that. But it's close. Like I said, I'll have the car for another 3 weeks, so I'll definitely be able to knock the floor out, get the carpet back in. I think I was looking at some fabric dye today. We'll see about that. Just re-dye the carpet. I think there's a stain in it, so it's clean, but it just needs to be re-dyed. Re-dye the carpet and then get the carpet back in, the seats back in, center console back in. And I believe the leak has stopped up underneath. Yeah, I'm not seeing any leaking up underneath, so that problem's situated, or yeah, that problem's handled. There's not a whole lot left before it goes back over to the grind school garage. But yeah, well, now that the floor's done, I could swap out the gas pedal. So I might do that. I think it's just three 10mm bolts. Might be 11. but you kind of see how, oh, let's see, yeah, you see how that one's just pretty much broken off, pretty much right where the pedal goes. This one's not in the best condition, but it's better than that little bar, so eventually we can swap out the pedal part, but for now it'll be alright. So yeah, I'll climb up under there, grab those 3 bolts, and throw the new one in. But that'll be it for the day. So probably catch you guys on this weekend, either when I'm back working on the 88 or working on the Elko.